What if I told you that Formula One's favorite son, Lando Norris, is no longer the rising star but instead the underperformer, with a growing list of critics? What if the driver everyone once called the future of F1 is now getting roasted by former champions, humiliated by the media, and even outshined by his own teammate? Because that's exactly what's happening right now in the 2025 season. Lando Norris, the 25-year-old McLaren ace who was supposed to be fighting for a world title, is being dragged into the kind of media storm that ends careers. And the nickname making headlines. Lando Norris. Yeah, absolutely brutal. From poor race starts, to being outpaced by Oscar Piastri, to public lashings from pundits like Ralf Schumacher, it's looking less like a title fight and more like a mental meltdown. And what's worse, Norris himself seems rattled, visibly frustrated on the radio, missing opportunities on track and slowly losing grip over the narrative that once painted him as F1's next big thing. This video is not just about stats and race results. This is about psychology, media pressure, and what happens when the world expects greatness, but you haven't delivered a single Grand Prix win. So stay with me, because we're diving deep into what's really going on with Lando Norris. The numbers, the facts, the gossip, and the cold hard truths. From being the smiling sim racer to being publicly shamed by the Italian press, this is the story of a driver at a career crossroads. And the next few races could define everything. Let's start with the expectations. Coming into 2025, Lando Norris was tipped as a legitimate title contender. McLaren had finally produced a machine capable of fighting up front, the MCL38, dubbed by insiders as the rocket ship due to its raw straight-line speed and improved downforce characteristics. With Red Bull looking shaky and Mercedes stuck in transition, McLaren was poised to steal the spotlight. And who better to lead that charge than Lando, the face of the team since 2019? Fans and pundits alike believed this would be his year. But then, reality hit. 5 races in, and it's Oscar Piastri, the so-called silent assassin, who leads the championship. The Australian, just 24, has been almost robotic in his consistency. He's outqualified Norris 3 out of 5 times, finished ahead in 4 of those, and scored a dominant race win in Japan. Meanwhile, Norris has been constantly playing catch-up, and the stats tell a grim story. Lando has lost positions at the start in 4 of the 5 races so far, with an average drop of 2 to 3 places per race on lap 1. He's lost a total of 12 positions off the line, while Piastri has gained 7. These aren't just numbers, they're warning signs. The Miami Grand Prix may be the most symbolic example of Norris's struggles. He qualified brilliantly, P2 next to Max Verstappen. But at lights out, everything collapsed. Another poor getaway saw him swallowed by the pack, dropping to P6 within the first lap after a wheel-to-wheel clash with Max. He recovered to finish second, but the narrative had already shifted. Instead of being praised for his fight back, he was criticized for once again squandering a prime opportunity. And then came the nickname, Lando Norris. Italian journalist Leo Turini, writing for Sky Sports Italy, gave Norris an 8 out of 10 rating, but with a savage twist. He called him Blando, mocking his consistently slow starts. The quote, "As usual, Blando at the start." That wasn't even the harshest critique. Ralf Schumacher on Sky Sports Germany took it a step further. There are simply some drivers who have a superb eye for it. That's Verstappen, that's Piastri, and Behrman. Norris doesn't have it. He won't learn it. When a former F1 winner says you've hit your ceiling, that hits hard. Now let's zoom out. This isn't the first time Norris has faced pressure. In 2021 at Sochi, he was leading a Grand Prix and seemed destined for his first win. Until rain hit, and a bad call to stay out cost him everything. That moment haunts his career. Since then, he's racked up 15 podiums, 1 pole, and over 650 career points, but still no full Grand Prix win. In fact, he now holds the record for most podiums without a win in F1 history. A fun fact, until it isn't. And what about inside McLaren? Well, rumors are swirling. While team principal Andrea Stella insists there's harmony, some insiders suggest engineers are beginning to value Piastri's feedback more. Why? Because it's clearer, calmer, and more actionable. Norris, while passionate, has been more emotional this season, audibly venting frustration over the radio, sometimes second-guessing strategy mid-race. This hasn't gone unnoticed. Some in the paddock are even whispering that Piastri is now the real team leader, especially as results continue to swing in his favor. Let's also talk legacy. Norris is still young, but no longer the new kid. He's in his 7th season now. He's already driven more races than legends like Jim Clark. And while the fandom still adores him, that goodwill can fade fast when results don't match the hype. In contrast, Oscar Piastri is being hailed as a future world champion, someone who just might bring McLaren their first title since Lewis Hamilton in 2008. And it's not just the drivers that matter here, it's the timing. 2025 might be the year to strike. Red Bull is vulnerable with Verstappen not completely dominant, Ferrari is still inconsistent, and Mercedes is in rebuilding mode. If Norris doesn't capitalize now, when does he? With Hamilton joining Ferrari in 2026 and new regulations on the horizon, this could be Lando's last best chance to prove he belongs with the greats. So what now for Lando Norris? He still has the talent, he still has the car, he still has the chance. But time is no longer his ally, it's his enemy. He's no longer the rookie with nothing to lose. He's the seasoned pro with everything on the line. The media is circling, the fans are watching, and his teammate is outpacing him. And if you ask the paddock, they'll tell you, perception matters more than ever in Formula One. Win and you're a legend. Flinch and you're forgotten. There's still time to flip the narrative. A dominant win in Monaco or Imola could silence the doubters overnight. A few strong starts could destroy the Lando Norris tag forever, but it has to happen now. Because if Norris finishes this season second to Piastri in the same machinery without a win, then the whispers become truths, and the fairy tale starts to look like fiction. So as we head into the heart of the season, ask yourself this: is Lando Norris the next world champion, or the most overhyped driver of his generation? Stick with us because this drama is just heating up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss a single twist in what might be the most defining season of Lando Norris's career.